What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Promethean Tides. I'm General. As always, I'm joined by Breaker. What is going on, Breaker?
Aw, snap. Jingle-ling-a-ling.
Merry Christmas. And we are also joined by Pnoid. Hey, what is going on, Pnoid?
Yo, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Pnoid News. I'm here as always with my bottom bitch, my partner, my muse, the YouTuber with a bedazzled knee pad. Yo, General Chief, how you doing, man?
What is going on, dog? Uh, I thought that we just we'll go through some news in a bit, but Merry Christmas, everyone. It's gonna be this will be our last show before Christmas, but I hope that everyone has a good set of holidays. I hope that everyone gets some time to spend with the family. Maybe have a feast. Maybe get some presents. Maybe
maybe you get your salad tossed. You know what I mean? Have some fun. You know what I mean?
can
Enjoy yourself.
you can always do that as well. Maybe you can think about baby Jesus, or yeah, get your salad tossed. All is acceptable. Um, so I guess the first thing from poll review. So this is where we go through poll, and we're just reporting what poll is reporting. This isn't reflective of any of our positions on anything. In fact, poll is a horrible cesspool of a place. I wouldn't recommend anyone go here. Very terrible, very bad opinions. But we're
The horrible people, absolutely terrible. The low energy, you should avoid them. They're not sending their best.
They're not. But we are doing on the ground reporting of what poll has to say. And so for the first thing here, we have I guess the LGBTQ flag saying praying for children. No. Praying on children. Hey. All right.
Well, you got to get them while they're young, because if you don't, I mean, how are all those LGBTQ plus youth going to know how to identify in a world that constantly rejects them? It's better that they know about butt sex early.
Well, remember, man, gay people from like the 60s and 70s who went to Studio 54, because they're gay and how biology works, they couldn't have any kids, so they have to steal yours. You know what I mean? It's highly important to remember that fact. You know what I mean?
They do.
Yeah.
They gotta take yours. They're like there's a species of ants actually that steals the children from other ant colonies and raises them as slaves. Some sort of parallel there. All right. Next we have this nice video. So I guess that it looks like this person's in a wheelchair, and is this bungee jumping? No.
Wait, what? Bungee jumping in a wheelchair.
I mean, I guess they died. I don't know. I have no idea.
They died.
Was this bungee jumping, or was that a Trump supporter?
Yeah, who knows? But here's a person in a wheelchair, and they just yeah, I don't know what happened. There's that.
Like, I feel like you shouldn't bungee jump in a wheelchair. You know, and if you do, you should probably be at least strapped into your wheelchair at minimum.
At minimum, yeah.
I mean, if you're paraplegic and you, oh, never mind.
I am angry about elves. You just press OK to continue, I guess. I don't know.
And then he goes into a lengthy explanation about elves are satanic in nature.
So, be me.
I'll tell you what, folks, interdimensional space demons are out here trying to have sex with Santa Claus. All right, I got a documentation right here.
Yep, that sounds about right.
So this is be me walking around in public with my concealed carry. Someone starts a mass shooting. This is my time. App image. Kill him and save untold lives. Go to court. Get charged with murder of a federal agent. My face one.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong about that. Like, you know, like
it's a thing.
The vast majority of like these type of things are done by people who have associations with our letters agencies. You know, so I mean, you know, I don't know what to tell you.
I had this idea. So let's say that you were a very powerful politician and you wanted to get rid of guns forever. Here's a really simple way to do it. You spend some money and you convince a mass shooting to happen once a week for 4 months. and once a mass shooting has happened once a week for 4 months that you have specifically planned out to happen, then the entirety of America will want to get rid of guns. It wouldn't be that hard to do, in theory.
Yeah, thank God that they're incompetent, you know?
Yeah, they're incompetent, and two, like contriving that probably isn't as easy. Like, there's probably a whole bunch of groups in like freaking Telegram and all like the online alt tech platforms that are constantly just dudes like, hey, want to start something illegal and take down the government? And everyone's just like, get out of here, glowy, glow harder, because everyone's in on the plan now. Like, no one's falling for it anymore.
Yeah, maybe it wouldn't be that easy, but I feel like if you had enough like George Soros money, you might be able to pull that off. I don't know.
Now you do understand that, like, George Soros is literally just a plant for like the vast majority of corporations who want cheap labor. Oh, yo, did you see my new video about the guys who did that thing with the people? Oh, the Hyundai, they fucking got caught smuggling and child trafficking like 10 and 11-year-old kids to go work in their fucking plant in Alabama.
No shit.
Right? Yeah. They caught them. But don't worry, man. Yo, the Labor Department fined them $30,000, so it's not that big of a deal. They got taken care of.
Oh,
don't worry.
okay.
It's like,
Justice was served.
Oh, you golly gosh darn it, your child labor. Don't you do that again, Mr. Hyundai plant owner's like, I sure won't, boss. Oh, golly.
No. They're like, oh, no, we sure won't. We promise. You know what I mean? And then they fucking ship over some Asians.
All right.
Oh, so sorry, Mr. America. It not happened again.
We not understand rules. Oh.
Our penis is so small, and your penis is so big.
Oh, small penis. We don't understand.
Our penis so tiny. Your penis so big.
Our penis so small. We see under microscope.
God damn it.
No, but you know
Meanwhile,
what?
this ferret is just like, what the fuck?
You know what, man? Legitimately, like, no one's gonna, like, here's my problem, right? I don't have a problem with child labor as a whole. Like, I just, like, because I was a kid, I worked. You know what I mean? Like, I worked with my dad, did construction stuff, like, all the time. I lived on a farm, and I, like, moved horses and stuff around. That's normal. You're supposed to do that shit. Right? So, my problem is, like, Americans say that they give a fuck, but, like, they keep buying iPhones and Hyundais. Like, they don't care. Like,
no, they don't care. They don't give a shit.
Like, no.
Yeah, and there's a difference between wage slavery and working for your family under a familial context.
This is also from 4chan. This is to demonstrate that 4chan also, it has cute things. It's not all bad things. So here's, I guess, a ferret. I have no idea what the
I
fuck
know where this is going.
It's a mammal of some sort. I have no idea what it's specifically.
It's a mustelid, so it's probably gonna bite.
Nah, it's going into a tube that's going into a rectum. That's where this is going.
Oh no,
right
that would not with a ferret, maybe a gerbil, but a ferret, that would be a very bad idea. Even assuming it will fit, you do not want a ferret in there.
No, probably not.
You know, these are furries. Like, I don't think you understand what 4chan is full of. Like, you have any idea?
All right. We have our predictions. Let's see what's going to happen.
Oh no.
My money's on the butt. Where's it going?
It flops. That's it. It's a cute
and it died. It heard us talking about it, and then just like, oh god, please release me, Jesus.
It's a cute. I don't want to live in this world anymore.
Anything but the tube.
Okay. Oh, this is good. This is just your standard, I guess, American biker, according to 4chan.
Very American.
It looks. Breaker, is that you?
Oh, damn it! You're fucking doxing me again. First, it was like the titty sprinkle skirt that I told you was private, and now it's my freaking biker pictures. Like, come on.
Yeah, look, you fucking degenerate, you goy slop eating fuck, wearing a goddamn fucking skirt, riding a bike. Was that you in the Darth Vader with the flaming bagpipes and the unicycle in Portland? Was that you?
No comment. No comment.
You fucking piece of shit. Okay, so here we have, I guess the history of a YouTuber. So the first video is I am gay, coming out story. The next one is I am transgender. The next one is I had sex with a dog, and then finally I stand with Ukraine. So that's the pipeline.
Full circle, man. Full circle. Full circle. You know.
I don't know what to say. I this is 4chan reporting it. I don't know if this is true or not, but we're on the ground reporting from 4chan. And,
on the internet, so it has to be true. You know, just that's cool.
Yep.
This is when the Lion King music kicks in. The circle of life. This is like the LGBTQ plus circle of life.
Now, did I ever tell you the story? My boy banged the chick who looked like Simba from the Lion King.
Oh gosh.
How does a woman look like Simba?
She looked like Simba from the Lion King, right? You know what I mean? And like, cause she had like this big red mane and shit. Right, and it wasn't like hair; it was a mane,
ginger?
Right?
Like she was a ginger. She had like
she had like a mane, and she had like a flat, like wide nose, and like a round. She looked like Simba, like legit. Right? I'll send you the meme later. Right?
Okay.
But like, yeah, I swear, like he was banging this chick, and I was banging this cross-eyed chick that I used to call Google.Chrome. Right? And like, so like, you know, we were competing to see like which one to make the broad scream louder, you know what I mean? Like who'd go longer, right? And I won. And so like after I won, I banged on the wall and I was like, that
is truly beautiful. Thank you. I'm a better man now that I know that story. Thank you.
You're welcome. And all your fans do too. Yeah, I used to bang that cross-eyed chick. One eye would look at me, the other one look right at the TV. You know what I mean? It was bananas.
Hey, that's called multitasking. We love it. So this meme is this Soviet officer.
Soviets.
He says, slaps roof on grain silo. We can fit so much fucking grain in this bad boy. And then, but we won't. Oh no, because the communists they
had the wrong ideology. They're not allowed to have grain silo.
They let people starve. It's too bad about the commies.
Too bad that grain silo wasn't in Stalingrad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good point.
Perfect there. You know?
Let's see. So, what kind of psychological problem do you have? If you can't see the number, you may have blah blah blah. So I'll just read out the first one. 12. So I don't have schizophrenia. Let's see. Pnoid, can you? I don't know if your screen can show it. Can you read out the next one under epilepsy?
Yeah, I can't see nothing. I'm looking at a GPS right now. You know what I mean? I got a GPS up at the moment, trying to see where I'm going down here in Maryland.
Okay. Shit. Okay.
I'm just trying to react. You know what I mean? Like what you're doing right now. I'm doing pretty
Wait a
good.
minute.
Notice that?
I mean, I have superhuman color vision, so let me see.
Try it. See what you can see, man.
Which one of these could it be?
Okay, so Breaker, can you under epilepsy? What number do you see? Or over
7.
Epilepsy? 7. Okay, and then low IQ. What number is that?
8.
Okay, and then the big gay. Which do you see a number there? Breaker,
42.
That's Breaker. Can you not see a number there?
Uh-oh.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. Breaker,
Oh no.
You might be the big gay. I don't know.
I gotta hide in the grain silo. The Soviets will never check there.
That's right. I can clearly see the number, by the way, and I'm sure most people can. It's just you, Breaker, that can't see the number.
Oh no.
I'm not even gonna tell you what the number is, because then you know.
Yeah, look, it's 47. That's what the little mouse said. It's 47.
You're right. It is 47. Breaker couldn't see it. What the fuck?
Damn it.
If you didn't see 47 in this number, you in this circle, you're gay. Okay, so that's.
God damn it.
This is confirmed by 4chan. This is internet truth.
Now look, dude. Like, let me tell you a secret about the internet. The number's always 47. Right? Secret about the internet.
That's a good point.
Say 47, and everybody go, "Oh, you're funny and cool. Do you remember Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?" You know, and this immediately works every time.
Well, would that be 42?
Yeah, shh. Just make up a number. Nobody actually remembers a number.
So the next meme is just the next 4chan news is be this man. And it says underneath, unidentified man refuses to stand for Nazi salute 1944. This is, of course, a very brave man.
It's very stunning and brave. I commemorate that man for sitting out this one.
He has a very distinctive toothbrush mustache, but he seems like an all-right guy. He was refusing to stand for the Nazi salute. Good on him.
Well, if he's sitting in on Nazism, like, I can only clap.
Right. Okay, this next one. These are mildly spicy. Man sends lizard saliva to 23andMe for DNA testing, exposing total fraud of company's claims of human ancestry. The man explains how after 3 months of waiting, he received anomalous results, suggesting that his pet lizard is 48% West Asian and 51% Ashkenazi Jewish.
Wait a minute.
Goddamn reptilian folks! You're out here trying to interdimensionally scoop babies, folks. All right, I got a documentation right here. See, look, proves it. It's on all the white papers.
I mean, this is I guess the.
Wait a minute. Does this mean that Kanye wasn't crazy?
No. Kanye was. Look, it's either that lizards are Jewish or Jewish people are lizards. It's one of the two. I'm not sure which.
Damn.
Yeah.
I would have never suspected it.
Yeah,
they were the last people I would have expected, you know.
Of course. Let's see. This person, this is a Redditor. I found this humorous. They say, "Fuck 4chan. Everyone do yourself a favor and do not visit any threads on that site about this murder. Never been on 4chan before, but I wanted to see a specific comment I saw linked from the sub a while ago. I regretted it immediately. I was left extremely disturbed by the amount of incels just spewing absolutely vile, misogynistic, racist, disrespectful shit about everyone involved in the case. I knew it was bad, but wow, did not expect to see so much scum in one thread." Well, 4chan's a bad place. Don't go there.
I mean, exactly. Especially if you're a very sensitive individual.
If you're on Reddit, don't go there.
I mean, yes, don't. You know, I mean, if you're a Redditor, probably you probably shouldn't be on the internet. You should go on Facebook and join the other single moms. You know, where you belong.
Yeah.
Keep it
if you're like a Redditor and you switch from 4chan, that's like going from cigarettes to black tar heroin.
Too much for one person.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a meme. This person, he gets injured. He says, "Ow, this is gonna need stitches." In America, the doctor says that'll be $58,000. In Britain, the doctor says, "I can help you in 38 months." In Canada, the doctor just says, "Kill yourself."
I mean, when you put it like that, America is looking pretty good.
Oh,
our world is going so well right now. It's amazing.
Oh, it's tremendous. Yes.
Like, euthanasia is literally the leading cause of death in Canada right now.
There's no way. There's no way that's true. If that's true, like, I am fucking concerned.
Yeah, that's in the mainstream fucking news. That is, like, well, depending on how much you trust them. I mean, it doesn't do them any good to lie about that. You'd think they'd lie the other way. If anything, it's worse, and they're trying to thumb the scale to make it look good, but they just can't.
How is that even, like, possible? Like, how?
Welcome to Canada. Anything is possible, bro.
I'll tell you how it's possible, because they go around to these hospital beds of people who are sick, sometimes with like minor injuries, and they're just bedridden for an indeterminate amount of time, maybe with an estimate for like, you'll be in this bed for several months. And then they have the fucking death fairy come around and say, it's like, "Oh, we have an option, an alternative option for you." Because they're Canadian, they're just like, "Well, it would be rude to disagree, so I'm just going to say, okay, buddy." And that's how it happens, because they're fucking Canadians. They just can't disagree. They're too fucking agreeable for their own good.
They're so polite. They're so polite that, like, oh, they have like some injury, and it's like, "Oh, hey, I'm the death fairy. Hey there, guy. It would cost like the taxpayers $38,000 to get you back to tip top shape there. So you want to just die?" The Canadian is like, "Oh, okay then, thanks."
Well, I'm gonna cost them this much. Fucking idiot. That's terrible. He sounds like Mario and shit. Yo,
Fucking Canadian.
yo, I honestly, God, I don't understand like how that's a fucking thing. Like, and people are just like, yeah, it's good, man. You know, we're just killing everybody in the fucking hospital. It's like,
Why not? Yeah. I mean, it's
it's
great.
a solution, you know, like it's a final solution, but it's a solution nonetheless.
That's true. It's not just a solution. It is the.
So,
final
like,
solution.
imagine if you were in a car wreck and you're in extreme pain. Even with painkillers, you're just like out of your freaking gourd, and you're going to be in this pain for at least several weeks. Like, you look like the guy that's in a cast, like from those cartoons, where there's like a full body cast and every one of your limbs is like in a sling above the bed, and you're in that type of shape. And then someone just comes in and is like, by the way, I could just end it right now. And they're just like, oh, thank God, release me from this eternal agony. So, yeah, that's probably how it happens, too.
I'm sure. Thank you, Canada.
Like, I don't understand. Like, I can understand like legalizing suicide, right? You know what I mean? If you want to end your own life, do what you do. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't really, it's your business. That's what you want to do. I don't have a problem with that as a whole. You know, and that would be an issue for the insurance companies, but like it wouldn't be an issue for anybody to fuck else. But like to just go around and start killing elderly people in the fucking hospital as a government seems wrong. I mean,
well, Canada actually they recently released I guess like a commercial advertising their euthanasia. And the woman that they showed, who is now dead, it was a woman who like she wanted to live, but she wasn't able to get adequate healthcare under like the Canadian healthcare system, and so instead of like she wanted to live, but she couldn't get healthcare, so she just chose to die, and that was their spokesperson. What the fuck, Canada?
Well, there you go.
All right.
it's retarded.
Okay,
like,
so
why? Why would you? Why? Like, okay, I mean, like, I agree with this as a political thing, right? Because, like, I literally got kicked off of like 4 YouTube channels when COVID hit because I said we should be handing out COVID blankets and pillows to the elderly to help us save some of the Social Security money, right?
Jesus.
You know, like, I don't have like a major problem with this. But the fact that nobody else has a problem with this scares the shit out of me. Because, like, it's showing that the world is just okay with, like, casually fucking murdering people. You know what I mean? Like, it's not...
Well,
I don't know if I'm cool with that.
I mean, Canada's cool with it. Because Canada's the beacon of progressivism. They know the future. Okay, so here's a video. It's about a minute long. Pnoid, I understand you can't watch the video, but it's I think it's a great video. This is an instruction of how to cut an onion, and
Oh, no.
I thought that we could all appreciate how it is that one cuts an onion. We have a knife. It looks like he's using one of those like maul swords to cut this onion. He's attempting to peel it.
The onion is being peeled.
This is how you cut an onion, by the way. So he's doing it. He's taking off the skin. He's attempting to. No, he's going back with the knife. He's got to cut off a little bit more. Make sure that he got the skin off. Yep. Yeah, he's peeling the shit out of that onion. Doing a great job.
It's terrific. You're gonna love it when I peel this onion. It's gonna be so incredible.
And I guess that is how you cut an onion, everyone. Fucking beautiful. Just the best onion cutting that you've ever seen. I don't know. I saw this and I was infuriated because that's clearly not how you You cut an onion, but I found it so infuriating.
This is
watching.
like everything on 4chan is a troll, even like the cooking board. Like they'll show you like these horribly screwed up, awkward ways of doing normal things with food just as a troll, because everything on 4chan has to be a fucking troll.
Of course. Okay, all right. Well, there was that. Let's see. My wife, please don't embarrass me at my liberal aunt's Christmas party. Me, I love Hitler, and it's Kanye in a gimp mask.
Well then, this is awkward.
Oh, okay.
Why Kanye? Why?
Next one. Kim Jong-un takes massive bong rip without coughing as show of strength. Nice.
Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-un, like, all jokes aside, he has to be like an epic hedonist, because he's basically like a hermit dictator in his own little fucking hermit kingdom, constantly surrounded by yes men and like constantly getting stuff shipped in from China. So he has to be into like all of this shit. He's got like constant fucking orgies, constant fucking drugs, constant fucking alcohol.
Yo, he had a heart attack at like 36.
I think that's right. I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, like, and look at him. He's like, for an Asian man, he is like fucking, like, gigantic.
He's shaped like Jonah Hill used to be. Like, he looks like Harvey Weinstein and shit.
Yeah, that man is into his excesses. Okay, so here's this is a little bit.
Isn't he like best friends with Dennis Rodman and shit?
I think he had Dennis Rodman.
The man who married, he married Carmen Electra wearing a dress.
Like, what's wrong with black celebrities and fucking like being into weird dictators and shit? First, like Dennis Rodman, now Kanye. What the fuck is wrong?
They like attention. I'm telling you.
Yeah, listen. Actually, I heard a black guy on YouTube explain this recently. He said, since black people really don't have any wealth, they thoroughly enjoy the trappings of wealth, right? And who has more trappings of wealth than a fucking dictator?
That's a good point.
That makes a lot of sense when you put it like that.
Yeah. It's all about symbolism, man, and like simple-mindedness.
Okay. So,
I got my gold rims, my gold teeth, my spitted gold shoes. Everything is spitted in gold and diamonds and bling bling.
Now, listen, my husband's got spinners. Like, yo, man, I got a Keurig coffee maker, and I don't know nothing about no Keurig. Like, yo, I got a fucking chandelier made out of expensive chicken bones.
Like, fucking in the South now, they don't even have spinners in the South anymore. They literally have like Ben-Hur chariot spikes on their goddamn tires.
Yo, did you hear in Texas, like I don't know, back in the 2000s, they had chandeliers in their fucking cars.
What?
I swear to God.
Chandeliers and leopard print. It's like a 1970s tacky dime store nightmare.
Did you guys see the
new thing in hang on, man, listen, the new thing in Eastern Tennessee or Western Tennessee or some shit, right? Is they have these I think they call them slams or some shit, I forget. But basically it's pickup trucks with like 30-inch rims on the front and like 10s on the back. Right? And like they're just basically like pickup trucks pointed at the air with candy paint on them.
I've actually seen a couple of those. I didn't think they were even like road legal. I thought it would just like show shit, but they actually drive around in those fucking things.
Yeah, it's completely retarded. Like, it just, they say for something to be art, it has to have no use at all. And that is black art right there in America, my friends.
Well, that's pure Art Deco, like art for art's sake.
Yeah,
that communicates no symbolism or no political message. It's just art for art's sake, just pure indulgence, pure aesthetics.
Did you did you see the? It was this rap dude, and he got a diamond or like a ruby or something surgically implanted in his forehead, and then got
$50 million diamond.
It got stolen and ripped out of his forehead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Stupid
Christ,
motherfucker.
Man. Why would you do that? You got $50 million on your forehead. Of course, someone's gonna rip that out.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking stupid. At least with the rims, you can catch them. But right. Yeah.
So
anyway,
moving on to the next meme. So we have a we have a guy here, and it says steals your bike, and then offers to loan you $1,000 at 35% interest to purchase a new one. Now this is from Pole. This is highly offensive. I think that this is incredibly offensive. I don't think that anyone should be laughing at this. But this does appear to be a black Jew.
Well, as we know from Kanye, these are the real OG Jews. So
yes, the black Hebrew Israelites. This is what they support. Okay.
Yo, I love them guys so much. My Streamlabs dono thing on like my old streams was literally like the black Hebrew Israelites before they went. All right, before that Native American went up to Nick Sandman and beat the drum in his face or whatever it was, right? Like, the black Hebrew Israelites were giving it to the fucking Native Americans, and they were calling them like $2 Indians and shit, right? And one of them came up with the best one I ever heard. He said, "Use Uncle Tomahawk." That's right.
Tomahawk.
Yo, that is now my Streamlabs dono for until the end of time.
That's a good
That
name.
was literally as the Indians were going down the street before they ran into Nicholas Sandman. They was like, "Don't be an Uncle Tomahawk."
It was the best thing ever.
That's a clever fucking name. I like that.
I love those guys so much. They're like my favorite people. Them and the Rise of the Moors. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They claim that like they're not black people or Americans, that they're like stranded Moroccans left outside of their country, right? And like they all got caught in Boston, like running up the road with like AKs and stuff for like training or some shit, right? And the cops pulled them over. They all exited the vehicle, ran into the woods, and decided to like take position to try to fight the cops, right? And negotiate for their freedom through diplomatic means, right? By trying to instill like American negotiations with Morocco, right? It is my favorite thing ever. It's amazing.
That's
check it out.
That's a combination of sovereign citizens and crazy black folks.
No, but like they're from Morocco. They're different from the rest of the Africans. That's like Wakanda, right? Like
that's
Morocco
like super ultra meta
Wakanda.
sovereign citizens.
Yeah. I love that shit. Like, it's my favorite thing because, like, these people are trying. It's like that kid that's like saying, "You're not allowed out of this yard." The kid's like, "How are you going to stop me?" And you put up a fence, and then there's like a little crack between that fence, right? And like every time, like he tries to slide through that crack, you put a board in, and then like he starts trying to configure his body in another way to get it through. Like, I love it. Like, you're watching people mentally try to flip over and do gymnastics to try to like get the fuck over what the hell's going on and shit. It's amazing.
Okay, so
Crazy man.
Finally, we have Chadman, and he says to a guy, "Explain communism." It's a whole bunch of text, and then Chad guy says, "Explain anarcho-primitivism," and it's just want banana, get banana. And the thing is that there is actually now one may roll over this meme and go, haha, just another meme. No, there is brilliance in this meme. This is a 4D chess meme. This is a big galaxy brained meme. Want banana, get banana. There is true natural beauty in that, and I respect this so much. This is almost
the best memes are the simplest.
Exactly. Yes. The best memes are the simplest. Absolutely. Okay. So, that was some poll review. We'll get into maybe a little bit more of some serious stuff here. So, this is an interaction that I had on poll. This person says, there are many people on this board who don't think evolution occurred. The irony is many of these people criticize transgenderism for being anti-biology, yet simultaneously doubt the cornerstone of biology, evolutionary theory. It's also worth noting that many leftists have a problem with evolution because they believe it promotes racism. Funny, factions of both the left and the right seem offended by science to some degree or other. Let's see, next response is, Rabbi, a shitty thread here isn't going to convince anyone. Jannies, delete this shit. What makes you think this is intended to change anyone's mind? It's an observation to be discussed and has political implications. I responded. I said, doubt of biology is foolish, but it is not a kind actor. It offers you a different choice than God. Instead of heaven versus hell, you have existence versus non-existence. Probably a mercy. God has enslaved you all for eternity, whether you go to heaven or hell. At least nature offers the absolution of non-existence. Yeah, this is my position. Tom, under Christianity, your soul is bound for all eternity. Under nature, you can at least achieve non-existence. Nature is a more merciful God than the Christian God.
Okay, and
Oh snap!
I mean, like, I don't really like. I'll be honest with you, son. Like, what if Altus put out a video like last week? I don't know if you can hear me or not, right? But like, and in the video he put out, like, it's basically saying that like you shouldn't apply science to your life as a whole, and that's really what we failed. Like, where we failed ourselves as a society is that like we've tried to apply science to things that like don't need science applied to them. Right? Like, life is for the living, and it's beautiful, and you don't have to logic it the fuck out. It's unnecessary and dumb. And you're just like, you're trying to apply like logic and reason and rationing to smart monkeys who just want to get banana.
Yeah, but I think that you don't need science to be able to, I guess, I don't know, like get in touch with nature. You don't need that. Like, you can, like, as you like to say, go outside and touch grass.
Yeah. I mean, like, again, like, you're a smart monkey. That's all we are. We're just smart monkeys at the end of the day, right? You don't have to like science shit the fuck out.
No, you don't.
Like, you really don't. And like, if you want to like so. The idea of like religion versus non-religion, all the bullshit at the end of the day is like, what makes you feel good as a monkey?
But what I would say is that, like, when it comes to the Christian God, right? I honestly, I think it's an autistic God. Like, it's been like mathed out. I think that the Christian God, it says, I have your soul for all eternity. Whether you do good and you're in heaven, or you do bad and you go to hell, you're stuck for all eternity. I like the idea that there is a pathway towards just non-existence, that you can just quit the game. Because then I feel less trapped. Like, I feel very much trapped in the Christian God. Either I live with God or I descend into hell for all eternity. Peter, you're breaking up a bit.
For once, it's not my signal this breaks.
Like, you don't have struggle, right? So, like, there's, like they say, there's no atheist in a foxhole. Atheist in a foxhole, right? Like, the reasons why you need God and you want God is because, like, your life is hard, it's wild, you don't understand it, right? But if you're living in, like, you're, doing what everybody tells you to do and all these type of things, like, God's probably not going to make any sense to you because, like, you're following the path that, like, a million others have followed before you. So, like, you don't need it, right? But, like, if you're like me and you're like a fucking coyote looking at house pets, you'd like to know that there's something out there looking out for you. You know what I mean? Because, like, you're not, like, you're walking upon your own. You don't have a lot of people to ask questions to when you're out here doing what you do.
I would argue that I think that every creature that exists has nature looking out for it in one way or another. But
I don't think it does, because nature's cruel and horrible and inhumane. Like,
so is God.
God isn't, though.
Well, God is capable of much greater punishment than nature is. If you
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Well, let me give you this, right? Let's say that you're a terrible animal and you just suck at everything. Then you cease to exist. and you're just kind of, you go off into the
Or-
void. You have non-existence.
you
But
can-
God makes you suffer in hell for all eternity. That is, nature is much more merciful than God is. God makes you suffer for all eternity. That's fucking barbaric.
Well, again, like you're talking about Protestantism in the end of the day, right? You know what I mean? So like that's number one. That's half the problem that we're having right now,
Okay.
right? But like secondly, you know what I mean? Like in like my church, I'm Catholic, so like we believe in things like purgatory and all types of extracurricular shit that's unnecessary, right? But like ultimately, like the whole purpose is that like God blew breath in your lungs, right? And like he made you in his image. So therefore, like, God to me is probably a funny motherfucker that likes to go out and get pussy. Right? And that tends to be my mentality about things.
And it sounds like we believe in the same God.
Yeah. Right. And then like when you talk about nature, like nature is cruel and inhumane and horrible. Right. And the only reason that like nature is any good is because of the fact that like I make it so. Right? Like, like nature's cool to like my kids because like I give them a good life and allow them to have that good life. I mean, we built a society to protect all of them and shit, right? But like, if you're allowed just out in nature and like it's whatever, fucking bobcat come through and fuck your whole world up. You know what I mean?
I mean, that is
like,
true. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, you might not even die. You might just end up like suffering with some horrible fucking like main thing, and like the rest of your life, you fucking walk around with a bum knee and some terrible scars that's stopping you from like taking a full step.
Right.
Right.
The whole thing about like humans is that we went through, I guess, living in an ecosystem, and then we built our own ecosystem, and now our ecosystem is weird. And I think that that's why we have like, I don't know, like transgender kids and stuff. Like,
yeah, you're not wrong.
We've become detached from nature, and we've become weird as shit because of that.
Yeah. But again, you know what I'm saying? Like, nature is cruel. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be a savage to be in nature, right? In the end of the day. Like, you have to be strong. You have to have ability. You have to be able to, like, take care of yourself and do for yourself and build skills and all these type of things.
And what happens when man is not a savage? Man becomes weird. Man becomes transgender. It gets fucking weird, man. Man should be a savage.
Well, that's cosmopolitanism in a nutshell.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Stupid fucking people. Yeah, like you have to be able to like get away from like all these mentalities of like the people around you, right? Like I'm not mad at like my parents were like, you know what I mean, like telling me Santa Claus was real when I was a kid, or like trying to push religion on me, because it's not a terrible thing in the end of the day to like have values and have a belief and have something that you're bigger than, right? And to be part of something bigger than yourself, right? And like most people throughout the history of the world, right, have like these belief systems that, you can opt in or opt out of, right? Like you can opt in, and that's what I love about religion the most, is that like you don't have to like do shit if you don't want to.
Actually, when it comes to the Santa Claus thing, Santa Claus is a lie, but I think it's a beneficial lie. I'm happy that my parents told me that like Santa Claus was real, because when I realized that he wasn't real, I was like, oh shit, I can't trust authority. Thank you for teaching me that lesson. It was a valuable lesson.
Yeah, and like here's the thing, I'd much rather have religion than government, right?
I agree,
because
100%.
I can like religion is like the most based like form of like government there is. Like it's a government without police or militaries. That's amazing. And I can opt in and out of your fucking bullshit anytime I want to. If I don't want to go to church, I don't go. I don't owe you any money. You're not taxing me. But on the same point, because of your value set and your charity, you have to help me when I'm in hard times. Religion's awesome. Yo, it's government that's trash, and governments that hide behind religion are trash.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And they've used it like all the things we think of that are bad, like the Crusades and like fucking the Inquisition, all these things. That was government. The government was bad, right? And they hid behind God and tried to pretend they were doing His fucking work, right?
Right.
But in the real, that's where we are.
I would argue that, in fact, if it is a religion, it must necessarily be beneficial to those who practice it. If it is not beneficial, that's what you call a cult. That's fundamentally the difference between a religion and a cult. Religions must be beneficial towards those who practice it, and the fact that the West has just decided to abandon basically the one thing that was helping them is insane. It's kind of like like Germany abandoning fucking nuclear power. It doesn't make any fucking sense. But we'll move on to the next thing. So
Yeah, I'm gonna send you that video then, and dude, if you want it to, it's a great video. It's from the channel What If Office, one of my favorite channels. He was born out in my neck of the woods, and like he moves all over the country. He's a high tech type of guy, but like he really like he has his fucking finger on something. You know, what I mean, he's right on it. But like, I gotta send you that video about like the problem of like science and government and human beings. It's fucking beautiful. Like it's a piece of art. But go ahead, man. Let's go to the next thing.
No, I mean, I actually just to conclude that thought, I guess I think I'm in agreement with you. There are like science is a tool. It's not something that we can like be supported by in the same way that it's like religion is different than a hammer. Like a hammer is a tool. You wouldn't like support yourself off of the concept of a hammer. Science is a tool, and when you try to replace religion with science, it ends up not making any fucking sense for obvious reasons. But
it's like, so remember the iRobot?
Yeah,
right?
With Will Smith.
Yeah. Remember, in the end of the movie, there's that robot running beside, like, the face of a robot or whatever, like the fucking main villain or whatever, right? And it's like, you got to see my logic. It's completely not. It's completely, perfect, right? Like, there's no flaws. And he goes, yeah, but this seems kind of inhumane, right? And that's where you get to, like, yo, because if you logic it the fuck out, human beings are a problem, right? As a whole, which, like, the problem is human beings. The beauty of humanity is in its flaws.
I agree. Yeah, I completely agree.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, yo, what Sir Francis Drake, right? He said, there isn't some beauty without some strangeness. Right? Like, it's your flaw. The shit is not right. That's beautiful. And that's the problem. You think everything should just be the same.
Yeah, you're breaking up a bit, but the beauty of humanity is in the flaws, and I completely agree with that. So, this next 4chan post says, post 2019 new bleep here, red pill me on something that I'm unaware of yet. So one person said Sandy Hook was a complete hoax, totally obvious. Next person said Kevin Spacey kept a satchel around his waist full of foreskins. I mean, maybe, why not? The next person said, it's the Jews. Of course, we all know that it's always the Jews, no matter what. Literally, no matter whatever the problem is, it is always the Jews every single time. But I responded with this. Some people may disagree with me on this one, but this is what I said. We are currently in World War IV. The Cold War was World War III. World War IV is fifth generational warfare, meaning information war. It's all about demoralizing the enemy, changing how they think, guiding their people to do something. Memes are literally bullets. This is the current war that we are in right now, much like how the atom bomb was the final conclusion of World War II and shaped the policy of World War III. Much like the economic victory of World War III informed the policy of World War IV, the AI victory of the current World War will inform the next. Whoever gets the AGI first wins the war, like the nuke. Given just the existence of AGI, it will differentiate and become different species, like all life does. Can't be sure what comes after that point, but maybe it'll be like the singularity of the prokaryotes into the eukaryotes. Lots of prokaryotes left behind, but some merged with the new technology, maintaining DNA as the dominant replicator. Or it's a phenotypic revolution without a replicator tango. Dunno, pick related. And of course the pick related is want banana, get banana. So
yeah, that's kind of what Pnoid was talking about, though. Like the logic it out, like the AI is going to know want banana, get banana, as good or better than you do, but it's not going to have that existential anchor of understanding what hunger is from a biological perspective.
I'd like to go through this. So I believe, first of all, that the Cold War was World War III. A lot of people disagree with me on this. Pnoid, do you disagree with me on this?
I 100% disagree with you on this.
All right, let's go.
Oh, shit. Fight. Here we go.
If you look at the Cold War, how many nations were involved in the Cold War? It was a shit ton. It was like probably more nations than were involved in World War II. So how would this not be a world war?
I mean, like, all right. So this isn't a world war, right? Like, this is the end of expansion, right? That's what I've come to recently, right? Is that like is literally like we have all of our problems today relate to the period of expansion from 1700 until probably about 1950, right? And we're settled and we're relaxing, and there's new cultures coming to be, right?
Right.
And in the new cultures that are coming to be, like the people aren't moving around as much. They're not like doing all the things or whatever it is, right? And we're going to form into stuff that like we don't really comprehend yet. And it's kind of like when like human beings first got to Europe. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'll be right back, man. But I'll finish that thought then.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so like we had the expansion with like the Manifest Destiny, the area, the Age of Exploration, all these type of things, right? And like we settled these two new continents, right? Canada, or North America and South America, as Europeans, as Asians, as whatever the case might be, right? And everybody settled in, and it's the same way as like white people went into Europe, right? Or when Homo sapiens went into Europe, right? It took them a little time to settle in and like gather in the tribes, to gather in the groups, to form into these countries in different geographic locations. We're doing the same exact thing right now, right? But like we don't really recognize us doing it, and we're trying to fight against it as much as possible because of the fact that like the corporate powers that be want to continue the expansion of capitalism that doesn't work anymore because of the fact that like you don't have more people. Like capitalism requires more people. Like you have to have more consumers. Like Adam Smith, the man is infinite. That type of thing.
It's a Ponzi
right?
scheme, isn't it?
Yes, right. The whole thing is right. So like when you don't have more people because you urbanize, and like in urbanization, you end up going from kids on a farm being farm equipment to kids in a fucking 2-bedroom apartment being a Saint Bernard that's a pain in the ass. Right? You stop fucking having them. Right? And then on top of that, I'm 100% sure that human beings have a natural built-in protection from overpopulation, where like if there's too many of us in an area, we stop breeding and turn into homosexuals and shit, right? And then like,
you're wrong.
I know, like because we don't really understand ourselves. We don't have these conversations, right? And we're not looking for it because it's positive for our economic system at the moment, to have trans people and to have people who are automatons, and like our school system has looked at a problem and through process of elimination decided that like all males are basically broken females, because females will sit in a classroom all day long and not complain and do really well and be successful, and males will bounce off the walls and be aggressive. And so, therefore, all males are broken females, right? That's what our system has decided, right? And that's why, like, all these people are, all these kids are being medicated to death, blah 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 blah, right? And so, at the moment, we're going through a period of where we're not going to have as many children, and children are going to be more. Your community is going to be more, and your family is going to be more, right? And like we're moving, like we have half the population moving towards this professional managerial class ideology, because 65% of the population of the millennials went to college, right? And the other half of the people standing here going, this shit don't make any fucking sense. And like we're having a huge schism, And people are noticing it that it's by education level and not just like class or like fucking race or anything of this nature. And we're going to end up having this conversation here soon and going, what is the purpose of our government if it can't serve its basic needs?
No,
right? It can't like fulfill its promises that it made.
In fact,
right?
It's not even that the government is not fulfilling its promises. It's that the government is working against the people, specifically. Like, humans, as you said, they will reach, I guess, like the population cap, and then they'll kind of oscillate around that number. Like they reach the carrying capacity, and they are healthy under the carrying capacity, and then the government moves in and they say, hey, we're going to promote a whole bunch of people to not have kids, and then, oh no, I guess we don't have enough people in the nation, so now we have to import a whole bunch of third worlders into our nation in order to keep up with, I guess, our economic policies, even though that is going against, I guess, like the natural thing, which is that populations reach carrying capacity. It's absolutely fucking absurd. The government is doing an injustice to the people that it is supposed to serve.
Well, it's somewhat of that, right? But it's more along the lines. So our government is our economy, right? Like it's all one big state, right?
It's not.
Like
the government is not the same thing as the economy. The government.
It is 100% is. No. The government's so intertwined in the fucking economy at this point, and literally, like the bureaucrats, like all right, so all the people who, like, whether it be the corporate management or whether it be the government bureaucrats, they all go to school at the same fucking place, right? Under the same tutelage, the same programs, the same ideologies, same shit, right? So, like, literally, they're all working towards the same goal, right? Is the issue? They're all the same fucking thing, right? All of their measures are GDP number go up, right? And they don't give a shit about anything else. Unemployment number go down, GDP number go up, and that's all they really care about, and that's all they have to like go off of.
No, yeah,
they don't have anything else. You know, I mean, they have no other measurement. So, like, both of the government is the economy is the government. The same thing, right? Because they both work towards the same shit.
No, the economy can exist outside of the government. The government can exist outside of the economy.
We know in, like, libertarian world and laissez-faire world, like, yes, but in reality, it's basically a quasi-fascist state, even in America.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that quasi-fascist state. I mean, you can see, like the Twitter.
Well,
papers,
I know you don't. I know you don't agree with it, but it's reality. You can see the
Twitter papers where actually the U.S. government was essentially funding Twitter in order to make sure that, like, okay, the U.S. government cannot violate the First Amendment, but maybe the U.S. government can pay one of these tech platforms to violate the First Amendment on their behalf. Technically speaking, that doesn't violate, the Constitution.
Well, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. No, dude,
it's like what shit. It's like what Alex Jones talked about with the freaking mercenaries and soldiers of fortune. If U.S. troops under, like, the Army and the Marines, like the official U.S. troops, can't do something, they just do private contractors that can go outside of the fucking Geneva Convention and do all kinds of shit.
Okay, whatever that is, that's fucking terrible. Honestly, I think that we can see that whatever has happened, most of the wrongs that exist in our current economy, they exist because of the government. Not because the government wasn't, like, doing its job well enough and there was too much corruption in the economy. No. Most of the corruption that we see in the economy right now is specifically because of the government. The government is flawed. We need to get rid of it.
Well, okay. I agree the government needs to be gotten rid of, like 100%. All right. And fuck out when it comes to it. But I think that structure is...
Pnoid, you're breaking up a bit. I'm sorry.
And he broke up again.
Oh.
Well, at least it's not me dying this time and like glitching out.
Yeah, this is a rare thing. Breaker is here. Wow.
Yeah, I'm in a stable place with decent internet, so I'm not going to break out anytime soon.
Can you hear me at all, or no?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
All right. So, like, again, like, to think that, like, the corporate governance model is any different than the fucking government is wrong, right? To think it's any better is wrong as a whole. And I understand that like the government is completely corrupt and bought, you know what I mean? And like, yo, these people pay for like the bureaucrats and bought them like whole lock, stock, and barrel. You know what I mean? But like, they're gonna do this with any government you have. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, like, our government is based off of the Enlightenment principles of the merchant class. And that's what this government was always meant to do, was to promote the merchant class.
I would support it if it was promoting the merchant class, right? Because what is the merchant class? It's the small business owners, right?
No.
It is. Dude, I support the small business owners. What I have an issue with is multinational corporations that are essentially funded and propped up by the government using taxpayer dollars. That's the thing that I have an issue with. The subsidies.
It's corporate welfare.
Well, I mean, like corporate welfare is one thing, right? But like when you talk about the government as a whole, right? Like the entirety of the government is literally set up to like help out the fucking large business, right? Like for instance, the banana wars. I'll give you a very good one, right? These happened long before the government was really even big enough to do anything. But like, yo, the U.S. Army went in and went to war in South America and Central America to protect fucking businesses. Not because, like, you know, the United States government had some problem or because, like, you know, we had some territorial dispute. No, it was to protect corporations. Like, the whole fucking Cuban ideology was literally about, like, the goddamn fruit companies.
You're absolutely right. Dude, you're 100% correct. And you know what? I think that the American Constitution is pretty good, but maybe it needs to be reformed a bit.
No, and we need to break this fucking country up into pieces. It's too
balkanization.
Too goddamn big.
We could go with balkanization, 100%. We could do that. I'm not opposed to it, but I think that the first step would be we try to do a convention of states, and we say, hey, we need to go back. We need to look at the Constitution. We need to look at everything that came after the 10th Amendment, everything that wasn't in the Bill of Rights, and actually question it. Because I think that maybe through just the process of entropy, the United States government the federal government has come to control too much, and we need to give more power back to the states. And the only way to do that is through a constitutional convention. And I'll tell you what, if that doesn't work, maybe then we go into balkanization.
I'll be honest with you, dude. You're not going to you're not going to get the federal government to let go of power.
Well,
that will never happen.
How do you get the federal government to let go of power? Are you saying that you have to use violence?
No, it runs out of money. That's like the most obvious. Like, because violence isn't going to work.
Bankrupted. Yeah, fucking bankrupted. That's great. That's a great way to do it.
Because they know how to deal with violence, but when they run out of money, it's just there's nothing they can do.
Just all the red states decide that they won't be paying taxes anymore? Yeah, actually, I would support that. Fuck yeah.
I mean, like, in general, tax revolt is not a bad idea, but like, even better, the best way to do it would be, like standing here having like a general worker strike. Probably be the best, but they
you're breaking up again. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
Can you hear me now?
You're still kind of off.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You sound better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, so like a general worker strike as a whole would be the best way to do it, right? But like they have vilified unions just entirely so much that nobody will motherfucking do it. Like nobody will stand up together and like go, fuck no, we're not going to do this. Like for instance, this rail strike was as close as we came to collapsing the U.S. fucking government.
With COVID?
No, the railroad strike.
The railroad strike.
Yeah, the railroad strike.
Also, if you remember what happened to the Canadian truckers, they just turn your money off anyway. And with central bank digital currency on the horizon, you're gonna have a lot of people are gonna have to make a really hard decision. It's
Dude,
like, okay, like
Can-
how bad do you want the government to be? And like, when do you go back to like barter and say, okay, fuck Lucifer's like Mark of the Beast money. I'm just gonna go back to full barter and closer to Amprim and trade with like farmers unions and shit, and
Dude,
just say fuck the money. It's gonna have to get to that point.
Dude, Canada is a beacon. Like it's like a lighthouse of where we want to avoid. That's what Canada is. It's like just go, fucking steer away from whatever the fuck that lighthouse is. That's what Canada is. Thank you, Canada.
What would you expect? And then his signal dies horribly.
If you don't have like in general like fucking worker strike or like some way to stop this in its tracks.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Pnoid, you're breaking up pretty hard.
Womp womp. Usually Baltimore has better fucking, or Maryland. Well, depending on where you are in Maryland, it might not be the cities.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, we can we can still can't hear you. No, it sounds pretty brutal.
Are you out in the freaking Panhandle or something? Because that's the only place that screws up the internet this bad.
What the hell they call it?
Hancock. Oh, Harrisburg. Oh, that's fucking horrible.
Oh, Harrisburg. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, we will get back to that conversation, but I guess we'll just run through this. At the there all of the 160 plus Walmart store closings in recent years. So over the past few years, Walmart has announced that they have closed over 160 locations in 27 states throughout the U.S., affecting over 10,000 employees. Walmarts are closing their locations. I mean, Jesus Christ, if you don't need a better barometer for how the economy is doing, just look at Walmart's closing their locations. I mean, that's not good. That's not good at all.
Yeah, it's like a massive nail in the coffin. Well, one good thing about this, I guess all the small businesses can come back.
Well,
if Walmart
actually,
leaves.
That's a good point. Maybe that'll leave more space for the mom and pop. Maybe this is the natural forest fire that actually invigorates the economy. Maybe it's good.
Yeah, and Walmart can probably afford to take a lot of freaking hits, and like Walmart kind of knows how to deal with this though, but like 100% of Walmarts everywhere probably wouldn't have the capital to be able to do this, like with the basically the private police force in the parking lot 24/7. Well, they don't even have to do it 24/7 because they close at midnight now. So, like, a lot more Walmarts are going to have the private police, like the California, Philadelphia, Memphis, and Knoxville, Tennessee, like the major metropolitan areas. Like, I've been to a lot of Walmarts in a lot of parts of the country, and a lot of them have the armed security, especially in California. Weirdly enough, I wonder why they would need private security forces there. They got like the full fucking get up, the full fucking MP5. They literally look like the fucking soldier guards in Metal Gear Solid with the amount of shit that they have.
Right, yeah. Good old fucking good old Walmart. No, I think this is yeah, like you were saying, this might be a good thing for the mom and pop shops. I mean, it's a terrible thing that so many people are robbing places, but I mean, it's really only in the blue states that like all this robbing is occurring. So, I mean, why is it that you would see price increases in goods? Well, if everyone is robbing from the store constantly, then you're going to see price increases in goods. This won't affect the red states nearly as much as the blue states. So Walmart will probably continue to succeed in the red states and fail in the blue states, and then the blue states are just going to, I don't know, they're going to fuck up their economy. I guess it's pathway forward for the blue states. I guess.
All right, can you hear me?
Yay!
Yes, we
He
can.
has returned.
There we go. Okay, all right. So, all right, with the Walmart thing, which I mean, I thought it was something like you would like. Yeah, I don't. So Walmart amortizes like all of its shit throughout the country, right? Like a lot of its stores in the red states already don't make any money.
Then why would they put the stores there?
Market growth.
Oh,
And also, you
okay,
could do like
yeah.
Walmart.com stuff where it's kind of like a milk toast Amazon, where you like go to Walmart.com, but you have to go pick up the stuff at the Walmart store. They don't deliver it to you. It's kind of like Amazon with extra steps. So that's one thing that probably a lot of people would do in the red states if the people are doing it there, because I know like Houston, Austin, like the major cities in Texas, like there's like so much fucking competition of like mega stores that are not Walmart, number one, that kind of like squeezes them out because everything's bigger in Texas. And this is just talking about specifically Texas, mind you. So yeah, probably a lot of the trendy people would be like, I'm going to get it on Walmart.com and then I'll go pick it up at the store. So that's probably, they could make a decent amount of money doing that, but not enough to justify the freaking brick and mortar overhead of the actual Walmart store, is I think what Pnoid is getting at. And it's just for the market capitalization ultimately. If Pnoid is here and hasn't died horribly. There he is.
I was closing the doors in the truck. Like, fuck, it is cold outside. Holy shit.
Of
Anyway,
course it is.
right.
You're in fucking Maryland in the wintertime.
Well, I mean, technically, yeah. I'm in northern Maryland, too. This is a bitch. I'm up in Perryman, up by Aberdeen.
I've been there. It's really
Yeah.
cold at this time of year.
Yeah, it's freezing. I'm from PA, so I get it's fucking cold. But
Oh yeah, you're used to it.
Yeah, not normal. But anyway, so Walmart thing is that they stand here and they amortize their growth, and what else they do is they live off of bulk and wholesale,
Yeah.
right? So like when they're able to buy more stock than everybody else, they can get the price down and capture the market, right? It's like Swift will stand here and take loads that like they don't make any money on, but it pays for the fuel and it also keeps the business out of its competitors' hands.
Oh, so it's like they're just occupying territory, even if it's at a loss.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I can-
actually did the truck driving stuff for Walmart, like the Blitz trailers for Black Friday and shit. It's like all the inside secret, like all the Black Friday stuff. It's usually a fucking Swift trailer, and all their Black Friday deal stuff is in that one trailer. They call it the Blitz trailer. So.
Yeah. I ran for Swift when I first started. Yep.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah. I was on a Walmart account too, but so this is kind of like how all this shit works. And so the problem with Walmart is it requires infinite growth again, right? And it doesn't have that. It also requires cheap goods forever. And believe it or not, the Walton are not bad. Well, like Sam Walton wasn't bad. He was a great guy. He was a great man. And they really do give a fuck about their image. Right? Like, I know a lot of people they look at Walmart and go, oh, it's evil, big, giant corporation, whatever it is. Like they have literally paid more and sold at a loss for American made goods. And they begged the government to help them, and the government told them to eat a dick many a times. And with China's wages being higher than Mexico's at this point, things are gonna really start changing, and they have been the past 3 or 4 years. And nobody really knows where this goes to at this point. You know what I mean?
With Mexico actually having cheaper wages than China, yeah, that's I mean, shit. I would like things to be built in North America. Period. I want to have a like NAFTA. fucking an economic bloc that is North America. I think that sounds like a pretty good deal to me, as opposed to globalization. I support that.
I 100% do too. But the problem is, there's not enough Mexicans and South Americans.
That's always the freaking problem.
We have to import more. Always.
No. I mean, like, so, okay. And on top of that, their birth rates are lower than ours.
No. Their birth rates aren't lower than ours.
They're low. Yo, look at Brazil. Brazil's already older than America.
Yeah, maybe, but Brazil is Portuguese. Look at the Spanish.
Brazil's mostly Italian and black.
Yeah, but they speak Portuguese. They're different than the rest of.
They are okay. Out of the 400 million South Americans, 3 million.
All right. I don't know enough about the demographics of, let's say, Brazil versus Mexico, but
I want to hear some crazy shit. Puerto Rico has a lower birth rate.
Puerto Rico is a lower birth rate than. Did you say Spain?
Than us.
Oh, than us. Oh, wow, man. Well,
Puerto Rico is kind of like a weird fringe case because of all their. That's kind of like the tax exempt place for super rich people to go and legally avoid taxes.
No, it's just urban. It's because of the fact that these places have urbanized. Right? The number one predictor of low birth rates is urbanization. Right? It's literally not even like with TFM, you can be like, well, you give women rights. That's not it. It's urbanization. Right?
Yeah.
That's something that TFM was actually wrong about. We didn't have the data at that point. And now, when we start looking at this, what ended up happening is that, if you look at the countries with the highest urbanization rates, they have the lowest birth rates. South Korea. South Korea's birth rate is 0.6.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Urbanization and women's rights kind of are commingled because of America pushing feminism. Our number one export in America is feminism worldwide. So, right now it's easy to draw the correlation that urbanization leads to lower birth rates, but you have to also consider a lot of that urbanization is possible by some type of crooked subsidies from America or some super world power from the Western world.
No, it's when you industrialize, you can't just put your industrial plant all over the place, right? You're gonna put it near a body of water that you can export to the rest of the world with, because America's the number one consumer, it always will be, right? So you're putting your industrial base by a waterway, right? By a coast, by a port, whatever it is, right? And so therefore everybody's packing in by there to go to the jobs, right? And then comes the feminization afterwards. Right, we had industrialization first, and then feminization came. Right, but first came the industrialization, urbanization, then feminism, and then the collapsing of the goddamn everything. Right, but the rest of the world's on super speed. Where it took us 150 years to get here. Right, it's taken them 30 because the blueprint's already there, and they're following what we did.
Well, okay.
Yeah, there is a natural outgrowth of this, but you can't ignore America and the other major Western powers that subsidize all this are kind of adding to a problem that you're pointing out that organically occurs, but they're throwing gasoline on that fire.
What I would say though is that if you look at, let's say, South Korea, this is a country that is doing exactly what it ought to do. Yes, they achieved urbanization. Yes, they have a decreasing population. But what they're ultimately doing is they're reaching I guess a stability with their environment. Their population is not increasing exponentially. It's leveling out. They're reaching the carrying capacity of their ecosystem. This is actually a good thing. And when the government says, "Oh, we need to import a shit ton more people in order to continue the Ponzi scheme," well, that's the problem. Actually, the population is already doing the healthy thing. That's what we have to keep in mind.
Well, like I'm gonna say it like this, right? So the problem is that these governments all did they all of them have future, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like future promises to their people, right? And in having future promises to their people, they require like future growth. And like if you want to be able to borrow as a government to like fund like infrastructure, all these type of things, you have to have a future population to be able to like have that work.
That's called
Yeah, the whole thing's a giant fucking Ponzi scheme. And so therefore if you don't have more people, the Ponzi scheme comes to an end. Your entire culture, civilization, and state stop existing.
Then that whatever government set up that Ponzi scheme deserves to die because it's not fit.
I agree, right? But I mean, you have to understand that this is all going to come crashing down at the same fucking time all around the world.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have massive fucking crashes, massive die-offs, probably. Yeah.
Well, don't worry, freaking the Eastern Bloc, like Russia, India, and China, they're gonna.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna enter into a dipolar or maybe even tripolar world at some point in the future, and America's like biggest swinging dick in the room is gonna shrink severely in the coming years.
I'm not interested
China,
in that. I want the US to be the top dog.
No. China's great, right? Because like China, they will have half the population they have today by 2050.
That's
right.
Gonna be hell for their economy.
Yeah, what do you do if you're China and half your population is gonna vanish?
Dude, they're not just like they're dealing with 1 billion people. That's a problem.
That's
bro.
500 million people.
That's a huge problem.
Well, they were able to do that because of the mechanization, urbanization, and export to the number one consumer, which is America. Yeah, and when America starts to freaking shrink, the Chinese are going to have to seriously reevaluate their shit, and like a lower population is going to kind of go along with it. Like you can't be this eternal exporter to the gaping maw of America forever because America is going to go on a fucking massive diet in the coming decades.
No, but you know what they could have done? They could have not done the fucking Chinese communist policy of the one-child system that dicked them over. And by the way,
that shot them in the knee.
Yeah, that's the best representation of why it is that a single authoritarian ruler is not the best way to run a fucking civilization.
Do not fuck with reproduction. That's the number one thing throughout history. Yeah. Is when you start fucking with reproduction, you're on your way out.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, China's one-child policy is only half the problem, right? Like, literally, again, like, they urbanize so hard and so fast that they literally drug all of the females off the interior of the country to the coast to go work in the motherfucking, to go live in, like, 12 to a room in, like, a little dorm room or whatever, right? To go work in a Shenzhen factory, right? And all the males were left 2 fucking provinces away. So they literally, like, they have no way of recovering at this point. Like, they're just fucked. And most of the world's in the same condition. Like, here's the one I wanted to mention to you earlier. Check this shit out. The UAE, right, and Saudi Arabia, birth rates are as low or lower than the United States.
Well, it's been like that for a while. Most of the workforce are slaves, aren't they? Oh, we
and he dies horribly.
Yeah, we lost Pnoid again.
I think I see what he's getting at with like the Muslim countries. Like you wouldn't expect that to happen with them. It's like everyone says, like, oh, the Muslim countries, they crank out all kinds of kids. Like they have like multiple marriages and stuff. It's like, well,
Syrians, it's very different.
Yeah, the UAE and like the frickin' what's the one with the oil? I can't remember all these Middle Eastern countries. Saudi Arabia. Those type of places are like, they have so many freaking millionaires and billionaires everywhere. Like, wealthy people just become more naturally case-selected anyway. So even if they are Muslim, that's not kind of enough to offset, like, I mean, if you're driving around in a Rolls Royce, like getting e-thoughts to come and be a Dubai porta potty, as TFM famously said, like family and reproduction and heirs kind of become like, you can afford to have like just one kid if you're a multi-millionaire. and just like
No,
pour massive
like, no,
resources into that one kid.
Look, the princes and shit are all having like 10 kids, right? That's not the problem.
Well, they're
Right.
having them with like multiple women around the world. In some cases, it's not all like an above board
Yeah, but
family
they're-
situation.
Yeah, but they're having like 10 and 15 kids. Like, they're all having a whole bunch, right? It's the rest of the population that's not having. Like, how about this one? Qatar, Bahrain, all these fucking places in the Middle East aren't having any fucking kids. Iran is having 1.8 kids per woman.
Well, okay, but I fail to see why it is this is a bad thing. Honestly, I think of this as a population reaching its carrying capacity and basically having a healthy population, and it would continue to have a healthy population if it weren't for government interference and the need to continue the Ponzi scheme. I think that outside of that, actually, some of these declining populations would be healthy. It's like, oh shit, we have less people? What does that mean? When you have less workers, that means that you have to pay them more because there's greater demand for workers. This would actually be a really good thing. If it weren't for these government policies that state that you must always increase population, you must always increase GDP no matter what, actually this would be a fantastic thing for our fucking generation. And the government is getting in between us and that. Instead, the government is saying, hey, import all of the third worlders. Make sure that like you basically, as an American worker, you have to compete with the rest of the fucking world in order to get a job. Let's import the entire fucking rest of the world into America because that just makes sense. Fuck yeah. No, this is a terrible fucking economic policy. It hurts the people that were born here. By the way, who is hurt the worst by importing a whole bunch of Mexicans into America? It's the African Americans that were born here. Okay, when you import a whole bunch of Mexicans, those are the people that actually have the greatest amount of competition for jobs with the indigenous African American population. This is fucked. It makes no sense, and yet we continue to do it. Fuck this nonsense.
I agree with you, right? 100%. But like, the problem comes down to, again, this is why I say the government and the economy is the same thing. Right, because the government literally feeds the fucking corporate and economic powers what they want.
That's why we have to pry the grubby little hands of government away from the economy. They're a leech.
They're not even a leech. No, they're not a leech. Right? Like, so, okay. How do I put this? Like, they're not a leech. They're literally like part of the economy. Right? Like, this economy stops working, right? The one that we have right now, which I'm fine with it stop working. I'm great with it, right? But it stops working the moment you get the government the fuck out of the way. Like, if you separated the corporate structure and the government, everything collapses. Tomorrow, the whole thing collapses. That would be
heaven on earth. That would be heaven on earth.
The economy will collapse.
Yes, it would. But here's the thing. Sometimes you have to have forest fires in order to have an even more beautiful forest that rises to replace it. Yes, our current economic system is corrupt beyond means and is dependent on a Ponzi scheme. But if you just let it burn, something much greater can rise from the ashes, like a phoenix.
I agree. I 100% agree with you, right? Like 1,000%. And like, I am not with the idea of like technocratic rulership and scientific rulership. Like, I don't think that we should have like AI and robots dictating how we should live.
No.
Right? You know, I think that's terrible too. I think the Bugman idea of going to Mars and all the nonsense is stupid. Right? I think that we should be human beings and like enjoy that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know, like there's lots of great things to like enjoy as a whole in being a human. But, like, we don't enjoy any of that things because, like, we're so, like, concerned with being, like, consumers. And, like, I'll be honest, I'm trying to, all right, help me out here, General. And maybe my answer can help me, too. Square this circle in my head for me. All of American culture is advertising.
Yeah, kind of. I kind of agree with you.
Help me not be mad about that. Because I kind of want to throw the whole system away just off the fact that I feel like the same way y'all feel about religion, I feel about that. Right? Where it's like, I want that fucking lie burned to the fucking ground.
I have a
That
much more
one,
nuanced opinion on religion than General Chief does. So,
well, yeah. I'm not talking like y'all. Like I'm talking y'all as a university, right?
No,
The typical American liberal.
I see. Here's the thing. I agree with you. I think that advertising, honestly, it's kind of become the new religion, and it's fucking toxic. It's evil. There's no central truth to be had with advertising. It doesn't benefit you to pursue advertising. It's like the worst version of religion. There are people that actually like. There are literally people right now that pursue Gucci and all of these other fucking brand names almost as though they were pursuing like a religion. It's fucking toxic. It's evil. I agree with you.
Well, no. I mean, even going the whole way back to like the dog, the house, the yard, the white picket fence, for the advertising.
Right. I don't think that it makes any sense. I think that here's my stance. I think that the entire system that we've created from the ground up is detached from humanity. I like at every single level, I don't think that it works with humanity. I think that it was built off of power and like the notion of being a human, of having humanity, is not necessarily attached to just sheer power structures. So I think fundamentally, whatever it is that we've created, it's potentially evil, and I don't know. Maybe it's better to just go back to want banana, get banana.
return to monkey.
Return
Go
to
back.
monkey.
I want to be
Yes.
monkey.
I like monkey.
Yeah. I'm down with being a monkey. I like being a monkey. It's not a bad thing for me. You know what I mean?
Thank
I'm a good monkey.
Fuck yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay, I am a well built monkey, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm handsome, I'm strong, and I mean like I'm looking better as I'm getting older, which is fucking bananas, right? But like I get lots of pussy, like fucking I have all these kids that love me to death. I'm a great monkey, right? I love to fish and be outdoors, and I'm good at it. I'm good at monkey.
Bro, you have embraced monkey. Monkey is your lifestyle. You fuck, you obtain banana, and you sleep. That is monkey philosophy. Monkey philosophy is beautiful. Embrace monkey.
Look at my African American over here.
Right? Like again, like why? Like I don't. But I'm still angry about the fact that like everything we believe and think of and like assume as like being part of our culture is all advertising.
Oh, I hate it too. Yeah, we need to burn it. We do need to burn it 100%.
It's called hyper modern capitalism. Like literally everything, like even down to like spiritual concepts, are all liquefied and then vaporized and then spread out over people, and people just inhale and consume the product. Like you literally just need to like look around, like fandom culture, like all these different like consumerism, Gucci bags. Like I have my FUBU shoes, like what the frick ever. It's like all this like hyper modern freaking capitalism. Like religion has been kind of like turned into this commodified product that people could just inhale like a narcotic.
Yeah, I mean like just the entirety of like our lives and everything like we work towards and like the stuff we believe, it's all bullshit. It's all advertising. Like, and they're just trying to sell us stuff, and that pisses me the fuck off. I don't like it. You know what I mean? And like, I want to get around it because like I still want things. Like I still like.
And then he died horribly. Hate to see it.
I died. Did I die?
Sorry.
You're back. You're back. Go.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so like, I like my truck, I like my things, I like my house, I like my car, right? I like my boat, right? I like all this stuff, but on the same point, I'm agitated because like I feel like I don't know if it's me or the advertising. I don't know.
Dude.
And that pisses me off.
Dude, this goes so much fucking deeper than that, though, because here's the thing. We exist right now in my opinion, you may disagree, but I believe that we exist in World War IV right now. How is World War IV being conducted? It's with fifth generational warfare. It's all about the memes. It's all about ideas. It's about demoralizing a population. It's about taking a population and making it do something that it wouldn't usually do, but you spread the ideas into that population, and now they're doing something that they shouldn't do, but they're doing anyway. That is literally the fucking warfare that we exist under. And then you say, oh, well, fucking advertising. Yeah, advertising is just one aspect of the greater war that we're facing. And we're facing fucking basically demons. We're facing basically fucking demons right now. That is what humanity is facing. And this is not easy, right? Like, literally, this is an extremely challenging time to be a fucking human. But you know what? If you're a human right now, you gotta deal with it anyway. That's the long and short of it.
But the problem is like, all right, first off, number one, like, I'm out here, like, I'm banging broads, doing what I do, right? And I talk to broads, and, like, they have no idea what the fuck anything's going on.
Women never have any sort of idea of what's going on. You shouldn't expect them to.
I mean, like, they're just, like, literally, like, they don't have any thoughts in their head at all.
That's
right? And I'm saying here, I talk to people all the time, and they call me retarded for saying these shit.
Yeah, it's not about being popular because, just like I said a minute ago, what's popular is all controlled by the freaking hyper modern capitalist apparatus. Yeah, TikTok is popular. It's like, this is all just hyper modernity. It appropriates popularity for its own ends. That's like what all of fucking capitalism has been spinning down to. Like, make things popular, everything becomes a fucking ad populum argument. Everything is fallacious. Everything is a fucking vaporized narcotic that you just exist to fucking breathe.
Yeah, right. Like today, I was on Discord, right? And, like, I'm arguing with these fucking morons, right? And I'm like, there's a difference between a state, a nation, and a country. Like, there's three different fucking things.
I agree.
Right? A country's a geography, nation's the people, state is the government, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is not fucking difficult shit, right? As a whole. And, like, these people are calling me retarded for saying that, like, a nation is literally not, like, just all of the people in a general area. Like, some of these people belong to different nations, like the Navajo Nation, the Nation of Islam, like, fucking, the northern, like, fucking white Anglo-Saxons. These are different nations with different cultures and different heritage, different values, different people, different food, different language, like, different dialects. Like, just, these are different nations of people, right? And, like, they're like, you're fucking retarded, right? And I'm just like, you are fucking dumb. Do you not understand that these words are, like, different? And, like, the state is not a nation. It's not the same thing. Like, and I don't know how to, like, break through their fucking mental to make them understand shit. And I'm trying real fucking hard, but they're fucking dumb.
They can't ever fucking fully understand because they're all of their assumptions, all of their axioms, everything that they think, it is based off of a bed of lies. That's their issue, right?
Yeah.
They think that, oh, if I encounter a problem, if I encounter something that I don't know, who do I need to go to? An expert. That is their, like, that's what they think immediately. They don't think, hey, I should think about this for myself. I should, fucking consider things based off of my own reasoning. They go, no, trust an expert. Trust someone else. They cannot think for themselves.
Yeah, do you remember the old movie from the 60s, The Time Machine, based on the book by H.G. Wells?
No.
They made a reboot. I think General Chief has seen the reboot, so he probably... Yeah. The reboot kind of makes the fucking Eloys, like, communist revolutionaries and shit. In the original, though, the freaking dichotomy between the Morlocks and the Eloys were literally trained by the Molochs just to hear the nuclear raid siren. And this is like 100,000 years in the future, long after the freaking bombs stopped falling. But they were all so conditioned to hear that sound that they would all walk zombie-like into the freaking furnace and become the food of the Morlocks. And then when the siren went off and the herd was cold, they would all just like snap back to normal as though nothing happened, and they would just go about their lives like, no one can bring those people back. It's okay now because it's all clear. That's like the fucking perfect hyper-modern capitalism future. It's like when all the freaking bovine supplicants breathe in the freaking narcotics, and then you switch off the pipeline and they all just go back to normal as though nothing happened. It's like, hey, what about all those people that got lost? What about those people that suffered? What about those people that died? It's like, no one can bring them back, but it's okay now because it's all clear.
Like, I'll be honest, lately, I've been getting into like some like different type of like music and all this type of shit where like it's like local stuff and like Appalachian stuff and like new rock metal shit. I don't probably have no idea, but whatever, right? And like this dark country shit. And like there's one of them, there's a guy named not Morgan North, that's like Colton Waller, I think his name is. And like he has like an album cover that is a coyote, right, on like a gray background, like a coyote's like drawn almost like a tattoo, right, with a cigarette in his mouth, right, and it just says imaginary Appalachia underneath of it. And that's what I feel. I feel like a coyote just looking at house pets at this point. Like that's how I feel. Like most of the time, I'm like just standing here, like, you can be free too. It's not that difficult. You know what I mean? Like, break your shackles and get the fuck out of here. Like, jump over your fence. It's not that hard. Like, the fence ain't even really there. Like, you just gotta like change your mental. Stop thinking about shit like a fucking like a liberal and shit. And I tell people, I'm like, every American for the most part is liberal. Like, if you believe in women's rights, you're a liberal, right?
Hey, bro.
Yeah, that might be true.
No, it is, right? And so like they go, oh well, if you're a liberal in like fucking 1900, then yes, you believe in women's rights. Not today. Yeah, that's just normal. Right? I heard a conservative today because I'm conservative. I believe in conserving the right to free healthcare.
Womp
Well,
womp womp.
I mean, I would say that conservatism is it's not an ideology. It's only the left that actually has ideology. Conservatives do not have ideology.
Conservatives just preserve like whatever crap liberals cooked up. Like when the
No.
conservatives get back in control of the runaway train, they're just like, maybe put on some brakes.
No, hold on. Conservatives, they conserve what works. That's the point of a conservative. The liberals try a whole bunch of goofy fucking dumb shit, and then the conservatives conserve the shit that happened to work. It is
Ideally, yes.
Yes, ideally, and maybe America has failed at that in the past couple generations. I can perhaps accept that, but what I'm saying is that fundamentally, when you drill down to like the ideology, it is only the left that is ideological. The right is anti-ideological. They're primarily focused on shit that works, not shit that works in theory.
No. They're conserving their ability to be consumed.
I mean, I think that you have maybe too much of a black pill on conservatism if you say that.
Yeah, I mean, like, name something conservatives are actually conserving.
Not having trans kids.
For now.
For at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, conservatives, like, they, you know what I mean? Like, they're not, like, stopping their kids from going to college and becoming trans.
I'm
I
trans.
think that what you'll see is that within the conservative movement, there's been, I guess, a large push towards homeschooling, and I think that's for a very good reason. I don't think that the conservative, like, yes, the Republicans, like the politicians that represent the conservatives, what do? They basically just sit on their asses and wait for the government, for the Democrats to tell them what to do, and then they say, oh, well, we oppose 5% of what you're saying. Please remove 5%. And then the Democrats go, okay, we'll remove 5% of what we're doing. And then the conservatives say, that's a win. Fuck yeah. And that's what the conservative politicians do. But when you're actually looking at like the conservative base of America, I think that you'll see a lot of conservatives they've moved towards homeschooling because they've realized that public schooling is a load of crap, and in some instances even private schooling is a load of crap. I think that, like, don't look at the politicians, look at the people. The conservative people, they know what's up. They have an extremely good barometer for what direction our civilization is going. They're smarter than fucking anyone else. They're smarter than the fucking scientists in their ivory tower, I believe.
Well, like, okay, again, they're not conserving shit, though. They haven't conserved anything.
The politicians,
I like
or the people?
The people, nobody has.
I like the TFM. I like the TFM analogy where liberals are just like crazy, like jam the throttle to the maximum and head towards the frickin' cliff. And then when conservatives get in power, they apply the brake and kind of slow the train down, but they don't really stop it or let alone reverse course.
Yeah, because conservative politicians are gay as fuck.
He stole that from Michael Malice. Basically, the original was conservatives are just like fucking the progressives doing the speed limit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, again, they're literally like, yo. For instance, I'm not even talking about fuck the politicians, right? I'm like even the thought leaders, like Sargon of Akkad, fucking Charlie Kirk, Dan Crenshaw, fucking like just I'm trying to think here, fucking Steven Crowder, right?
Dan Crenshaw is not a conservative leader, by the way.
Okay, I mean like, you know what I mean? Ben Shapiro, all these guys, right? Legitimately. Will hop on stage or have people on stage with them who are trans, who are homosexuals, who are like drag queens, right? They have no problem with any of this stuff as long as like they're pro, you know what I mean, like military and like pro whatever, right? Like fucking Charlie Kirk literally had like a fucking homosexual fucking like Marine who was like fucking like did drag shows and shit on stage with them at a TPUSA. Right, at the Turning Point USA fucking routes. What are you conserving?
No, I mean, if you, I don't know, like if you take a, what's that fucking chick? Not a chick, it's a dude, but it was a dude and then it became a chick. What's her name? The conservative. Blair White. Yeah, I mean, like. Honestly, like Blair White, that's a tranny, right? But at the same time, it's a person who upholds conservative values, and they don't want to turn kids into trannies. Like they're against that. Like to a certain extent, like I wouldn't push that person outside of out of the movement. Right? Like, I think it's fair to have that person in the movement. They're like, yo, yes, I'm a tranny, but I don't want kids to be trannies.
But, like, again, like, you're not a conservative if you're pro, like, tranny at all.
No. I mean, I think that you can be a conservative libertarian, and you can say, no, I mean, we can get into this, but my position is, you should allow people to make mistakes. And is it a mistake to be a tranny? Yes, but allow people the freedom to make that mistake. And
Wait a minute.
And then end their fucking genetic lineage as a result. That should be a freedom that everyone should be given.
No, Chief, you realize you're kind of not a conservative. Well, you are a conservative, but you're not so much a libertarian when you really think about it.
How is that not libertarian? I'm giving people the maximum amount of freedom. How is that not libertarian?
Well, because like you specifically, you have a much more robust theological background in how you think of nature and natural selection and all these things. So there is a type of religious machinations working in the background of your ideology that does not entirely comport with libertarianism proper in the ideological sense.
I want to give people the freedom to kill themselves.
Because you know and you presuppose that the laws of nature will sort this out. That's a transcendental form of law. Whatever you want to freaking call it, that's what it is at the end of the day.
But Breaker, at the end of the day, do I not grant people the freedom to do those things? I am a libertarian.
You grant people the freedom to do those things knowing it's like if they do the wrong things, there's going to be an ultimate judgment. That's a very theological way of looking at this that the more secular and atheistic libertarian might not share.
Perhaps, but I still grant them the freedom to make the mistake. That is libertarian. Make the mistake, motherfucker. Leave more room for my kids.
And the problem with them making the fucking mistakes is that they spread around all these viral mimetics that can just as easily affect your kids and your lineage as they can all the other dipshits that you don't want to see around anyway.
In the long run, they die out, and it's okay.
Well, there's no guarantee that your lineage won't be part of that dying out process. I mean, you won't be able to. That you won't be there to hold the hand over the collective asses.
It's my responsibility to keep my children away from those, I guess, demonic possessions. That's okay.
Yes, but there's something that transcends just even your children and the time that you have them. There's something. There's a transcendental quality. It's like the old adage, like the men that plant trees knowing that they'll never sit in the shade of that tree when it grows. Like, there has to be this forward-looking, transcendent thing.
I'm planting that tree. It turns out that actually, when it comes to nature, you can't only have the good trees. Sometimes you have to have the bad trees. Sometimes you have to you have to have the thing that culls the population in order for the population to be healthy. I support both the happy tree and the sad tree. The tree that benefits the population and also the tree that culls the population because, I don't know, sometimes humanity needs a forest fire.
That's a very Taoist perspective. Pnoid, get in on this.
Yeah, like, so I've told libertarian, I've told fucking him a million times he's not a libertarian, right? Legit. Like, I've told him like 1,000 times.
Fucking libertarian.
You're literally not.
I am. I want to grant everyone the freedom to do whatever the fuck they want. I'm a libertarian.
You understand family law. I think that's the only law that you concede to at all, and that's technically not libertarian in the most ideological sense. There's something extra going on there.
I would like to grant people the freedom to make mistakes. That is the most libertarian stance that
No, I mean, like, he's not a libertarian as a whole. Like, he's a nationalist. He doesn't believe in immigration. Right, he's not like pro corporation. Like, he's not really libertarian at the end of the day.
I'm a libertarian nationalist. I've been trying to say to you for the past couple times that we've talked. There's a difference between internationalist libertarians and nationalist libertarians. The nationalist libertarians support their nation and they don't want to have fucking open borders. It's two different sides. You have to understand this. When you rail against libertarians, you're railing against maybe half of libertarians, but the other half are like, yo, no, I'm a nationalist libertarian. I want to have closed borders.
Look, I understand. You know, I mean, you got the Asian wife. You know what I mean? And like you believe in like open markets, and you know, what I mean, like
I don't believe in open markets. That's not true.
If you don't believe in open markets, you can't be a libertarian and don't believe in open markets.
I believe in a market that exists within a nation state, not just completely open markets throughout the globe. That's insanity.
I don't believe in a nation state.
Well, perhaps we might find some things to agree with on that.
Well, of course, I mean, I started off as a libertarian. You know, I mean, I moved to a neo-reaction a long time ago, right? Because libertarianism is fucking dumb. It doesn't help, right? Like, you can't just let people have freedom. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
No, you do allow people to have freedom. That's how you maintain natural selection. And
yeah, there's a type of will of God thing going on there where at the end of the day, people very much don't have ultimate ideologically articulated freedom. And we've talked about this many times, General Chief. Like, there is a transcendental lawgiver at the end of the day. Even if it's, yeah, exactly. Even if in your perception that it's nature, that is a transcendental lawgiver. The really like diehard ideological Michael Malice level libertarian probably wouldn't even concede to that.
Fine.
Well,
But
Michael Malice is an anarchist. Like, he's not even like a fucking.
Yeah.
He's not a libertarian.
yeah,
He's
a
full
full-on
ANCAPy
anarchist.
chappy.
Well,
Well,
but, I mean,
he's not even ANCAPy. Like, yo, he's just anarchic. Right? He gives a fuck about like what your fucking, your economy is.
But I mean, if you go against, I guess, I mean, from my perspective, you have the freedom to go against the will of God. But if you go against the will of God, then bad things will happen to you, and you have that choice, and that's fine. Like you can make that choice, and then bad things will happen to you, but that's your choice, and that's like totally chill. That's the libertarian perspective.
Here's the thing about that, General Chief. Like, if you concede to like a transcendental godhead, especially in its like naturalistic pantheism, I think it is, insofar as you're concerned, it's not just nature as this nebulous, unseen, transcendental thing. If it's pantheistic, you're just as much of the mind of nature. Like, you are an avatar of nature. So if you have a concept of law within your mind, it is necessarily incumbent on you to maintain that law over other humans, even if it's only confined to the level of your own family structure inside of your household as the patriarch of the household.
I will do you one better. In fact, because I'm an avatar of nature, I don't know nature better than anyone else. Ergo, I ought allow other people the freedom to do whatever the fuck they want, because maybe someone has a better idea than I do. Maybe, for whatever reason, I don't know how this could occur, but maybe a person maybe they've unlocked a secret of the universe, and by having a transgender kid, they're actually able to reproduce more. I don't know how the fuck that would work, but maybe they know more than me. It's not my duty, my responsibility, or my right to tell a parent how they ought raise their kid, because I don't know. I can only guess at the mechanisms of nature.
Here's my thing, right? So, like, I believe that you, as a community, should have a right that if you're going to have a transgender kid, we should be able to kick you and your family the fuck out.
Okay, I don't support that.
Why? That's libertarian.
It's not.
It is too.
I don't think it is, because
your community gets to have the right of free association.
No. That
free association works both ways. If you're like, I'll make it a lot easier for you, General Chief. If you're like a happy family man living with your kids and your wife and everything, like, you're like the head of the household, but around you find yourself in this weird environment where there's a lot of other predatory people that are prone to child abuse. I'll say that much for YouTube purposes, but you know what I'm really talking about.
Yeah.
Either you need to get the fuck away from those people ASAP for reasons that you know why, or you need to say, it's like, I don't much care for your behavior. Either you need to leave, or we're going to have a problem.
No, I kind of believe in property rights. So if someone tries to come onto my property and make my kid gay, then I have a gun. I mean, that seems fair.
No. I don't want your kid associating with my motherfucking kid. Like, yo, if your family got to get out of my neighborhood if you're going to have a trans kid.
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's assume. I mean, I wouldn't ever do this, but let's assume for the sake of argument that I had a trans kid. Fuck you. You're not going to drive me off of my property. Fuck off.
Yeah, you're going to get driven off. I don't believe, like, all right, so here's the thing. You have the right to your property to be compensated for it, whatever the case is. But you also, your community has the right to tell you to get the fuck out.
I don't believe that they do. Fuck you. That's my property. Just
then
because
you're going to be
collectivized doesn't mean that you have a right to drive me off of my fucking property.
Well, then you're going to be next door to a bunch of child abusers, and you're going to have to make a hard decision. It's like, how important is this property?
Perhaps I will want to leave in the same way that a lot of conservatives ended up leaving the cities in the last few years because things got too totalitarian. But at the end of the day, I will not support any sort of fucking ideology that says that you have to lose your property because the community says that you ought. Fuck that nonsense. That's not libertarian ideals. That's Nazism. I don't support
No,
National
that's-
Socialism.
That's
Fuck
anarcho-primitivism.
socialists.
That's anarcho-primitivism
That's
because
not
tribes had
anarcho-primitivism.
conflicts and wars all the times. Like humans weren't always peacefully coexisting with each other in different tribes. If another motherfucker comes over to you, it's gonna hey, you need to get the fuck out of here. We're gonna have a problem. But sometimes you might need to expand. And even in like a more modernistic setting where it's like the white picket fence style of this, like your kids are going to have to leave your property and go other places on occasion. And do you want them to go into a den of iniquity and predators, or do you want them to go into a place of people more like you that respect the boundaries of the family and the sovereignty and your sovereignty and their sovereignty and the sovereignty of your child's private parts?
I'm sorry, I cannot get behind any sort of ideology that tells me to get off of land that I own. That's not good.
Oh, you don't have to in this case.
Wait, here's the other part of this too. I think that like you as a community should have the right to tell motherfuckers they're not allowed to buy property as well.
All right. This is a highly interesting conversation. If you guys want to, we can do an after show, but we've reached the 2-hour mark, so I'm gonna cut it off there. With that, hey, if you, the listener, if you got through all this and you like what we have to say, be sure to like and subscribe. It benefits the channel immensely if you're willing to do that. Share the video to your friends if you enjoyed it. This has been me. This has been Breaker. Any final words, Breaker?
Don't forget to ring that bell. It is Christmas time. You got to ring those silver bells. And the after show is probably going to be on Rumble, so we're going to get it like super fucking spicy.
Yes. And any final words, Pnoid?
Man, listen, y'all make sure you come over here, like, share, and subscribe on my boy's channel. Fucking General's a cool guy as a whole, right? And you know the deal, man. Listen, like I'll talk to y'all motherfuckers later, yo. Big old titties.
All right. Peace out, everyone.